Hello, my name is Alicia Drake, and welcome back to Coffee and Conversations. I'm joined today with Santiago Arana, one of the leading agents in Los Angeles and top brokers at the agency. We're here today at his trophy listing on Rockingham in Brentwood Park to discuss how to choose the best agent to list and sell your home.
Thank you, Alicia, for having me here with you. I'm very excited to do this.
Before we get into how to choose the best agent, let's talk about the big looming question: the business of being a real estate professional. With the advances in technology and alternative real estate platforms such as Zillow and Redfin, how does an agent utilize these tools to still be relevant and yet not become obsolete?
I personally think that we won't become obsolete. With the new technologies that are coming out in the next 24 months, probably with the artificial intelligence, that, there are a lot of jobs that are going to become obsolete, right?
Yes.
Uber drivers, delivery guys, all that kind of stuff. But as a real estate agent, so what we do, we have to do a lot of hand holding, and clients are looking for that personal relationship and that communication, because you end up creating a relationship, right? You'll be texting, you'll be emailing, they're doing a lot of multiple calls with that individual for a period of time, hopefully for a longer period of time. And I don't think that Zillow, Trulias, and all those tools, although they're amazing tools, can replace, But what I recommend is using these tools. You should have a profile, because the reality is that the consumer is looking at those sites. Trulia, Zillow, Redfin, all those are consumer-friendly sites that people like. So they go, they sign up for it, they sign up for notifications when there's a new listing in their price range and all that kind of stuff. So being there is important. I don't feel a threat on that taking off my business.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. So let's talk about hiring an agent. Say there's a seller and they're sitting down with agents to interview them. What are the most important qualities and criteria they should be looking for in making their decision between agents to list and sell their home?
One of the most important things is personality, right? I always sit down with sellers, or when I'm meeting with buyers, like to have a few minutes to meet and know a little bit about each other. I think it's important to understand each other's personality. It's important to know if there is a match or not, right?
Yes.
So if there is a synergy, I think that's very important. You have to make sure that we like each other, and that's a step one. Step two, obviously, you need to know that real estate agent is knowledgeable,
right,
and is knowledgeable in the area and has experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's important that the individual doesn't only understand about real estate or understand about your property, but understands about the area and understands about the market or what that property is fitted to.
Okay. So what would you say to a seller who has a friend or a relative who has just gotten their license and they're thinking about using them to list and sell their home?
Usually a tough situation, right? Because you don't want to block the relationship, right? There are strong relationships between sometimes father, son, nephew, cousin. I mean, it happens all the time. I always make a joke that in California, people have more real estate license than a driver license, right?
This is totally true.
I always make that joke, but I think what is important is to, in a very sophisticated way, let that person know that a lot of times, which is true, by the way, you are handing one of the biggest assets you own or you will own in your lifetime,
yes,
which is a home. Working with someone that is a family member that does not have experience, they just got the license, while you might think that you're trying to help them to get on their business, that might end that relationship or damage that relationship substantially.
Right.
Because if they don't have experience or don't know how to do it, and they go out there on their own and things don't go well, that relationship won't get better. It will only get damaged. And so I always say, well, while they might not understand right now, they will appreciate, because you'll continue that relationship, because when things go wrong, then that relationship ends. Mm-hmm. So I advise clients to explain that way, and to explain that business and family, they need to be separated. Now, if you have a relative that has experience, that might change a little bit.
At this point in my career, I focus the majority of my attention on my negotiation skills and how to continue to create deep, trusting relationships with my past and present clients and colleagues. And there are so many skill sets that we need to develop to be great agents. What are the most important skills to you that you continuously work on?
When I do seminars, when I'm talking to hundreds of agents, when I'm doing some sort of course, I get asked that question a lot. What's the secret? What is it that you do to get that successful? And to me, it starts like in everything within. I think if you don't take care of yourself, you don't give time to yourself to be your better self, then it's very hard to do anything, not just real estate, any business. So I start by knowing myself, knowing what's important for me, what's important to do in the morning, exercise, meditate, visualize, whatever it is that's going to get you to start the day in the right foot and feel good about yourself. Because when you do that, you go outside carrying that energy. And when you meet people, if you have done the things that get you to be in alignment,
Absolutely.
You'll meet that individual, you get that listing because people will feel that positive energy. So I would say that's very important. It's super important to be on top of the market, right? I navigate the MLS sometimes for hours just looking at what's coming, what's new. It's incredibly important to visit those properties when you have brokers open houses and just go to as many as you can, because when people or clients call you and ask you, have you seen that property? It's way more powerful if you say, see, I was there, I know it, it's a beautiful property, but the pool gets shade and doesn't get any sun. You cannot tell that by pictures. And there's, so knowing the market is one of the most important things. People appreciate knowledge and people want to pay knowledge.
So, Santiago, last question. Tell me, why do you think this seller has chosen you to sell this gorgeous home?
I originally met this gentleman at an open house on a property that is 2 doors down. So I was sitting in the open house there. He came in, introduced himself, we talked, showed him property. He quickly realized that I understand the area that I've been doing. In addition to that, he, at a point in time, mentioned to me that he's seen my name around. So he knew that I know the areas, he knew that I had the experience, and then he came and met me, and we immediately clicked. Wow. We met originally probably more than 7 years ago. Oh, wow. And through the time, we just kept in touch. He came to different places, and we end up finding out that we have friends in common. And then when the time came to sell, he basically picked up the phone and said, hey, now it's time, I'm moving. And, we met before, I know you do this, and blah, blah, blah. And that's how I got the listing.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Santiago. It has been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And you are very inspiring as a leading professional in our industry.
I enjoy this very much and hope we do it again.
Join us next time on Coffee and Conversations as we talk about social media and its influence on the real estate market and how we sell homes.